What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki back out with another paranormal activity kind of video. But in today's video, we are actually not going to be looking at a scary compilation or anything to that effect. We're actually going to be talking to Hope Paranormal, Josh himself, from the Hope Paranormal YouTube channel. He reached out to me, wanted to kind of educate me and see what he does, how he does this, and so forth, and questions we may have, or I may have, on being a little bit of skeptical on this, but still believing in this. But we are going to be taking a look and talking with Josh from Hope Paranormal. I'm super excited about it. So guys, grab a chair, guys, some popcorn, because we're going to be taking a look at a lot of things, possibly a spirit box session, and also a whole bunch of questions that we're going to ask him. So let's take a look. If you guys are new to my channel, if you guys are returning and have not subscribed yet, make sure you guys subscribe down below by hitting that red bar icon down at the bottom right. Turn on notifications by hitting the bell icon next to it, so I do post videos like this one. You're going to get that little ring notification that Wookie's posted a video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you everybody on this channel every single video, but thank you so much for the subs, the likes, the comments, the shares, the everything. You guys are killing it. We're almost to 9,000 subscribers, so if you guys are watching this, it's free, it's easy, it's down at the bottom right. Hit that bell or hit that bar icon, and without further ado, let's get into this video and talk to Hope, or I shouldn't say Hope Paranormal, but Josh himself from Hope Paranormal, and take a look at what it takes with this spirit box session and contacting the paranormal themselves. So let's take a look. Okay, me too.
So why don't you, do your, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if you want to do your lead in or whatever you do, and then, I'm good
with the lead in already, but I'm here, guys, with Josh himself from Hope Paranormal. We've been doing a lot of spirit box session reactions to him and other channels, but Josh has reached out to me and wanted to kind of go over everything, educate me on this, since I am on the fence about this session, where I do believe in some of what they're doing, and then I'm kind of skeptical about what's going on, because I want to know who we're talking to, who we're not talking to, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of questions in the comments on Josh's Hope Paranormal channel and mine, and there's some things I can't answer because I don't know enough of this quite yet, and I want to. And Josh is nice enough to kind of go over what he uses, what he tries out, how long he's been doing this. We might actually do a session or so forth, just kind of see what's going on with these spirits and stuff like that, because I would like to be educated more on this and figure out more about these spirit box sessions, so forth. So here is Josh from Hope Paranormal. If you want to introduce yourself there.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. You've been doing great videos. I love watching, the other videos that you're doing. I think it's great. I think you have a real objective way that you're reviewing these, and I think it's really cool. You're being respectful, but you're asking good questions. You're not on one side or the other side, hating on it or just loving everything that's given to you or that you're seeing. So I think that's really cool. So I was just, telling you that, anyone that's been watching you, man, knows that I'm pretty wide open. I'm very honest. I'm very open. I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I talk about whatever it is that, that I do, because I want to show people. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe in what I do, just watch it and believe it. But there's people that want to ask good questions or are wondering what the heck is going on. Like, this is very strange. This is crazy. If I would have seen any of this on YouTube, I would have been like, yeah, okay, man, seriously, so I don't blame people, for being skeptic. Excuse me. It's more like when people come at me with a disrespectful tone, like you're just fake or this is fake, that's when I get a little defensive sometimes, but I'm getting better with it. I'm getting better with it, but sometimes you catch me on a bad day, but whatever. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about this. You've reviewed so many people's sessions, including mine. So I think it's really cool.
I think the biggest thing for me is, like, I've seen, obviously I'm not going to name any names for other YouTube channels for disrespecting and respecting.
Yeah, we'll keep it general.
But it's so hard to know. Like, I've seen ghost hunting videos and like the ghost hunters or ghost adventures, and when they hear AVPs, sometimes they're coming gurgle, sometimes they come in super clear, like it's come from a recording. But like yours, I mean, and other YouTube channels that I do believe are genuine when it comes to speaking with them, how do you like? Sometimes I'm listening to it, and I'm like, how do they get that from that? Or like the audio, I don't know if it's because I lost my hearing a little bit, but I don't know how you guys pick up on what they're actually saying, or kind of closed captioning, as you will, when you guys do it.
So, no, that's a great question. Let me just touch on that. First, let me say that the majority of people's sessions that I watch, I don't hear what they're tagging. I just, they're not displaying my opinion, and I'm not trying to like cut down anyone else. There's actually some really great people out there doing sessions, and, I have no problem, naming the ones that I really love, or that I think that are doing great, but I'm not going to go into that. But, so it's all subjective as far as when people are tagging things, these responses, they're tagging them the best way that they know how, or what they think they hear. A lot of people don't slow down their responses. They just kind of throw tags on them. And then, we're supposed to just kind of trust that that's what it's saying. And I'm not with that. I mean, I'm not saying that all my tags are correct. They're strong suggestions. They're suggestions based on my experience, and you are totally free to say, hell no, I didn't hear what you just tagged that as, and that's totally fine. I mean, I'm open to people saying, hey, I think I heard this instead, whatever. But like a forensic audio expert, let's just talk about this for 1 second. So like if the FBI recorded mobsters in a warehouse talking about killing someone, they have a wiretap. And normally those recordings are not the best sounding recordings, so some forensic audio expert has to go into the lab and transcribe those things, those mobsters' conversations. And then that guy has to go to court to test, play the tape in court, but then testify why he believes that this is what it's saying.
Very true.
And so, some of those jurors might listen to that and go, I don't hear that guy saying that, but the forensic audio expert that's been doing it a long time has a better shot at getting those captions. Well, that's kind of what I think that I feel like I am. I've been doing it 9 years. I've listened to thousands of recordings and thousands of sessions, so I feel like I've gotten a lot better at it, but I'm prone to making mistakes. So, it's kind of like, the operator will put out the best version of what he thinks, the best captions, the best job he can do. And that's it, So yeah, it's open for interpretation.
I like that, because there's a lot of people in the comments that are like, how do you interpret that we're talking to this person, or the dialect that you said, where one person would hear something else and then this person hears something else. That's why we have jurors. That's why you have 12 to 20 jurors. So the majority can say, yeah, I heard this, or I don't hear this. So that's what our viewers are listening to. So a majority are going to say, yeah, I heard this, or I heard this. So that it's like you said, it's an interpretation.
And a lot of these people that we're talking about, even the bigger channels, and I'm not talking about the one that's fake out there, and we know who that is, and I'll just leave it at that, as far as that goes. But there's others out there that are good sized channels or are getting views, but they're still not slowing down their responses. And it's very time consuming to go through a session and go to cut each little response and slow it down. But the people really gravitate to the sessions that I'm doing because they're hearing a lot of those things very clearly. Not all of them, like you said, there's some tags that I tag that you're like, wow, how did he get that? But I like to slow down everything, not too much, not too slow, because then it's just like
right on.
It's like gone out, But, there is a happy medium there where you can find, and if you're not doing that, it's just kind of and then you're just throwing tags on it. So it takes a lot of work to kind of go through these properly.
And when you say a lot of work, like how long, I mean, is this a couple days, a week, a month? I mean, I hear you guys saying this happened for like 4 or 5 spirit sessions to get the content that you want.
Correct.
But I mean, how long does it take to do
Great
this?
question. Yeah, great question. So, I kind of have this like four-stage process when I do sessions. The first part is really just me preparing myself and with meditation and connecting on an intuitive level first. So this is important that I say this too. I cannot speak for any other operator or spirit communicator, ITC, or whatever you want to say, but I am a practicing psychic medium. I've been doing this for 8 years now. I've done over 2,000 paid sessions, readings for people, not sessions, readings, I should say, where it's just my intuitive ability. I'm on the phone with someone or I'm in person with someone giving them a reading. There's no box, there's no gear, and it's me just giving what I'm getting intuitively. And those are amazing readings. I'm like 80 something percent correct a lot of the times, and it's really fantastic. So I have to intuitively connect first in order for me to have some kind of good results through here. Now that is just me, and that's what I've come to find out. So I have to prepare myself with meditation intuitively. Then I have to prepare the gear and I have to make sure it's charged and it's all right and the cameras are good and the cards are cleared and all of that is there. Then I sit down and do the session, and that is normally only about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. I don't go an hour, I don't go hours, It's a 20-minute set time. Excuse me. I do the session. I try to hear what I can in real time, but I know that the majority of the responses will be heard in the review. And then I go through the session. And when I go through the session, I have to go through it like 4 times before I feel confident that the tags are correct. And so that's listening on an external speaker, listening with my headphones, back to the external speaker, and then headphones again. So 4 different times, and I have to do it over different days. So, this forensic audio expert that I worked with, Ed Primo, he's, really amazing guy, and he's done high profile cases. And I've talked with him, I've read his book, I've worked with him, and he's like, you can only listen to audio for like 2 hours before the little hairs in your ears get tired and they start to lay down and you can't properly hear sound. He goes, you need to get up and walk away. You need to come back with fresh ears on a different day. You need to be objective, be emotionally removed from what you're listening to, because you're going to hear things a little bit differently later on. So, when I tag something the first pass, I'll just tag what I hear, I think. And then the next day I'll go back and I'll listen. And I'll listen without reading the tags I tagged previously. I'll just kind of look at those, the waveform. And if I get the same thing as what I tagged previously, then I know I'm on the right track. But if I get something different, or if I'm hearing something different, then I look at my tag and I'm like, oh, that's not what I tagged. Then I'm off. I need to keep listening. Sometimes it's not a response. I mean, not everything I ask and turn the knob is going to be a response, So, but it takes me probably a week to really go through a session properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely is very interesting, because I know a lot of other YouTubers that are like yourself, big, small, medium, whatever have you. Some say it takes a couple days, which I think with you, like you said, you need to do this. You can't just wham bam and done. You have to take your time, listen, investigate, go over it multiple times, because you have to come in at a different time, because you can only do something so long until you're fatigued and tired or can't do this. So then coming back and then saying you do it in a day or two, it just doesn't seem justified in.
Now, I've done it. I mean, when the Gabi sessions were going on, time was kind of the essence because news was going to be released. And so I wanted to make sure that I was doing things that were prior to the news and things like that, because you release stuff after the news, you don't get credit for that. That's not the way it works.
True.
You really want to try to do it beforehand. So I was really reviewing very quickly. So there could be a mistake in those sessions, but I think that because of how strong the connection was with her, or how I felt it, I feel like the evidence or the responses were very clear for the most part, were very direct and very clear. So I was able to do those quicker, but a lot of other sessions, I take about a week. Yeah.
Okay. And then with kind of like you have these abilities, your intuition, your feelings and stuff like that, that you connect with these spirits and entities. Or I wouldn't say entities, but
Right.
like myself, I would say I'm not sensitive, but like if I go to a home where I've know that something has happened, I've felt kind of uneasy. But like in
Yeah.
your instance, you kind of have a connection with that. Can you kind of like tell me what that
Yeah.
feeling is?
Yeah, well, first I want to say that everyone has a psychic ability. Okay? So this is not something that, I mean, yes, some people are born with an ability that, they were 2 years old or whatever, and they were hearing things from birth or whatever, and that's amazing. Like normally those people really grow up and become amazing psychic mediums or whatever. But everyone has this sixth sense. Everyone has an ability to empathically pick up on energy or pick up on something intuitively. And mine came about in 2013, 2014. It was awoken. I didn't believe it. I was in disbelief. I was like, this is crazy. And I started just kind of doing test readings on people for free and kind of tuning in. And I was right. And it's like eventually you're like, whoa, this is crazy. Like there's no way for me to know this. There's no way for me to know that. And I was. So over time, I was starting to realize that yes, I was psychic and that I can really tune in. I am not the Long Island medium where if I go into a supermarket and I just run into someone, I'm just like, oh my God, Jane wants to say something to you or
Okay.
whatever. I don't do it like that. I have to actively tap in. I have to really tune in to do it. So, I know other people that are doing this work, they don't want to say that they're psychic or they don't want to claim that. That's fine. I
Hmm.
get that. I don't blame them for saying that. I have come a longer way where I will say that, I have established myself. So I'm comfortable saying that, yes, I do have an intuitive ability that I can tap into. I can pick up things. And nothing is better for me than when I'm doing something intuitively and I have the box going or I have the gear going and I'm like, oh man, I see you wearing this, or I see you sitting down next to me or something. And then they say, I'm right next to you, or yes, I'm wearing that. So that really validates the psychic ability. And that's just awesome. So, I think that's like what, that's important. And I
Hmm.
think a lot of people have that and don't realize it. So I mean, yeah, but that's really what I have to do in order for me to get results.
Okay. So, kind of going, I wouldn't say off topic to. I know there's a lot of questions that people have been asking me. Why does he charge for his sessions? Why does he. I mean, and the way I kind of was looking at it is if you have somebody that does things like myself, where I've done graphic design, I do editing, I've made all my logos, I've made logos for other people. Do I charge? Yes, I do charge. So I mean, it's a service that you're
Yeah.
providing somebody, not just like myself or yourself in your psychic abilities, but police officers. They're charging for their security. I mean,
You're absolutely right. There's no other job in this world that someone would go to their job and say, I cannot believe you are charging people to do this. Like you're
that's what
going
I
to
wanted to
charge
get
me to cut
across.
my hair. You're going to charge me to come to my house and do this, or, that's insane. So people think that because this is an intangible, maybe that it shouldn't be. Then if that's the case, then, people that run funeral homes should not be charging for their services. I mean,
Thousands of dollars.
how could they charge for a coffin, and when someone's in just in grief, like, well, I'm sorry, these things, this is time, this is money. I will say this: for the first 2.5 years, I didn't charge anyone anything. I
Mm-hmm.
did free readings all the time. I did free sessions all the time. I did group sessions for people all the time. One medium said to me finally, she was like, listen, you're going to have to charge something because you're undervaluing yourself. Like, that's not the way this works. You do, your time is of value, and you do need to charge something. So I charged a very modest fee at first, and I still do. I mean, I don't have, Chip Coffee, who's a very famous, like, medium and has been on all these shows, he charges $500 for like a half an hour, and you have to tell him who you want to reach, how they died. Like, you got to give him all this information.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I definitely have to charge. I have 2 young daughters. I have a family.
You have to
I,
got to provide for them.
yeah, I do this mostly full time. I mean, I own a hookah bar that I've owned for 12 years, and it's an amazing little spot that I love, but I don't have to go there very often. It's kind of like, a cool place that just
Mm.
runs on its own. So I have a little bit of other income,
Come.
but I mean, I've thrusted myself into doing this. And when I charge someone, $100 for a half an hour or 150 for an hour or whatever, this isn't like, oh, your time's up. Get off the phone. I'm done with you. I mean, I will stay on the phone with them longer. I will do everything I can because ultimately I just want to help them.
Satisfy the
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah. And I can only do like 2 to 3 private box sessions a month and 3 to 4, like 4 readings a month. Like I really don't book myself up like a guy that's like doing like a therapist. Like I only can do a few of these a month. So if that's the case, and I'm only charging 150, what am I making a month from this? $500 a month at most.
And for trying to live is not going to be self-sufficient when just that. So
It's not. So eventually, if I do this only full time, I'll have to charge more for those sessions. But for now, I'm still charging a very modest fee
mhm.
because I have other income that I can afford to live off of. But and I could only do a few a month. So I
When
mean,
you,
that's the reason.
I would say when you say you can only do like a few a month, is it because it takes a lot of energy away from you? Is that what I'm saying? And then it's
Yeah, it takes energy and it takes time. So if I do a box session for someone, I record for 30 minutes with them. That's energy that just I had to expend. The guides had to help me on the other side. Like I mean, who am I to expect that these souls on the other side are just going to show up every time I want them to and be
mhm.
like, hey guys, I need to live here and I need money and we need to keep pumping out these
They
sessions,
don't care.
like why would I expect them to just be like that and do that? Who would do that? And I can't pay them money, but they're helping me. They're doing it for a cause. Like we're doing it to help, but they understand that I have to live in this physical world when they don't need money to live on the other side. They need light. They get light from God. Like we all get light. And sometimes, meditation, prayer, being conscious, having a conscious contact with God, my God of understanding, it's mine is Jesus Christ. I talk to Jesus Christ and that's just who I speak to, but I don't push him on anyone, but like all of these things bring in light. Being nice to people brings in light. Okay. It gives me energy. And when I expend too much energy or my kids run me ragged or like I have bills to pay that are like kicking my butt or whatever, my light isn't as strong sometimes because like I'm living in the world and it's a kind of crappy place sometimes,
Yeah.
so like that can drain my light. And when I go to tap in, you will hear them sometimes say like, we need more light. Like you don't like, where's your light, like they will say that, so it's like I once did, when I first started doing this, like people booked like 30 box sessions like within a month. Like people were going crazy booking sessions. And I didn't know that there was like, I needed to like limit this some. And I did like 20 box sessions in 1 month. I was like physically sick and like some of my guides like left permanently. Like they were like, dude, I love you, but like, I'm done. Like, I'm out of here. And like, there were names that I still don't hear anymore after that month. And that was like 5 years ago. So ever since then, I learned that lesson that, I need to space these things out. Like, that's just the way it goes. Like,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
So another big thing that you just kind of touched on that I wanted to know is all these spirit sessions, yourself, other YouTubers. I mean, I wouldn't say I recently got into tarot reading, but a lot of people on my channel were like, you need to do tarot reading because they're talking about things that happened before Gabi even was found or Shanann Watts was found. And so I've been watching those, but they talk about spirit guides. Like,
Yeah.
where do these spirit guides come from? How do they connect to you? They have their
Great question.
names.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I feel like sometimes I wouldn't say I have a spirit guide, but
No,
I
you
have
do.
I have
No, you do. You
family. I
have,
feel.
dude, unless you literally are living your life completely like blind and just like literally waking up like like a robot and going to work and not caring about what you're doing at work, then going home and then just putting on the TV and eating like a TV dinner and just like going to bed and doing that every day, there would be very little a guide could do with you if that's the way you were living your life. But if you're living your life like trying to like grow and trying to be like, you know, make connections with people and doing something like this, like what you're doing is you're reaching people, you know, whether it's gaming or whatever, like they're, you know, you're reaching people and you're inspiring people. Like in some way, other people are being inspired by you and what. So guides will help you with these things. And a spirit guide could be anyone from a former relative or a past relative, that, you know, that is on the other side that did get to ascend to another level, but like wants to help you out. Or it could be a stranger, someone that had a very similar life to you or similar goal to you, and you know, an angel comes to them or God comes to them, Jesus will come to them and say, listen, I would like for you, you know, you're okay, you're moving up, you know, but I want you to help this guy. There's a guy over here that really could use your help. He could, you know, he needs you. And they don't have to do it. It's not like God saying like you got to do it, or an angel says you got to do it, but they get the assignment and they have the choice whether to take the assignment or not.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's hard for them because they'll work with you, they'll make some progress, and then you might have a setback, like you might have a breakup or lose a job or fall into a kind of a depression with something or whatever, and they can try to help you, you know, come out of that. But they've got to take a break at some point. They can't just stay down here constantly within this realm and deal with all the humanness of it. They have to go back up and kind of like rest and like,
Recharge.
yeah, they got to recharge, get some more light, take a break, and then come back down and help. So you will hear sometimes in sessions like, you know, your guide is coming, or he's not there yet, or they're coming, or they're there, you know, or they left, you know, and they'll say things like that. I have different guides that will come and go and help me. I've had ones that have worked with me for a long time, and then I don't hear their names anymore. And it's not just because I burnt them out. It's because they've moved on to a different assignment or whatever. Okay. So, and that can be hard. Like I've come to know names like Michael, Chris, Brian, David, Philip. These are all names, Michael being the predominant one. And it's not, I don't believe it's Archangel Michael. I think it's a guy named Michael was, you know, was helping me. And, you know, it's just, it's, you know, it's absolutely amazing, but they, you know, they are there to help, you know, and everyone, if they say, listen, like, God, I would like an angel, I would like a guide to help me. You can ask for one and you will get one. I mean, maybe not like in that one moment, but like you will, like that will happen for you if you're seeking.
Patience kind of thing.
Yeah.
So another thing is, I know you have your box to your left, looking at it. So I know a lot of people are talking about the copper wiring. It's more of a conductive. It kind of gives you a little bit more of a direct link into the box and stuff like that. But everybody's asking like on your right, they're like, "What are you touching?" They're asking me. It's like, hold on, this is Josh's video. I'm like, what are you asking me for? I asked Josh, but I'm like,
that's why I volunteered to come on, because, you know, you're getting the questions and you should have the answers, that whether or not, you know, every YouTuber is going to come on or, you know, communicator is going to answer for you. I'll answer for you. First, let me just tell you, Steve Huff made this box. Okay. So Steve Huff is, you know, whether people like him or not or whatever. And, you know, I'm not going to go into anything else about that, but I'll just say that, you know, he is a brilliant inventor and he's done some amazing things, and like that should never be taken away from him on that level. He created this box. It's one of only two that he created, and he gifted to me when him and I were very close. And for that, I'm very grateful. But, you know, there's other devices to use. First of all, just say, like, you know, the traditional spirit box, like this is just a Pana box. It's not the recorder version. It's the radio version of like a spirit box. And if you listen to it, it's very loud.
So it's like a miniaturized version of that one.
Well,
to
that's
extent.
more of a traditional radio spirit box. It scans radio stations really quickly and it gives little bits of feedback or little bits of sound from the broadcast that are
Okay.
not whole words. It's kind of like just,
So like all
whatever.
the ghost hunters use nowadays.
Yeah, those will use, and that's great because you'll get great responses. The only problem with that is that you have constant sound coming out.
Hmm.
And so when you review that, you have to listen to everything.
It's hard to hear.
Now, Steve was able to come up with, he came up with an idea of taking out the white noise and all that staticky sound because he knew, and, and I came to find out myself that they're not taking the words from the broadcast and just using, like, it's not like the spirit is in there waiting for the broadcast and going, okay, they're going to say this word soon. I'm going to pluck that word and I'm going to put it into, like,
Hmm.
they're taking raw sound from the broadcast and formulating their own responses. Now, there's some haters and skeptics out there that are like, there's no way to prove that they're using the real words from the broadcast. Okay, fine, if that's what you want to believe, but these boxes and other devices are proving that spirit is taking raw sound and different sounds and manipulating it to form their own responses. Okay, so Steve said he's going to take broadcasts from different radio stations and pipe it into this box over here. But he's going to have this like this pedal
Okay.
that's going to cancel the noise out. Okay, so you turn this knob and it's going to turn off all the sound. So you've got sound constantly running through this box, but you can't hear it.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's running in the background, and you can't hear it. And so what you do is you tell the spirit, hey, listen, I'm going to ask a question, and when I ask the question, I'm going to turn this knob
Okay.
and let some sound come through the box. And
Okay.
it's a little bit of a delay. So the minute I turn it, it sounds not just going to come ripping out. There's going to be a 3-second delay that Steve came up with. That idea is a really good idea of him. And within that delay, the spirit has that time to
To
take
say
that raw
something.
sound and form their own response, and then that will come out. And what that's doing now is that I don't have to sit here and listen to constant sound and not understand everything, and I'm just going to relegate the answer to just a few seconds of sound coming through the box. So that's
Okay.
kind of what's really revolutionized this. Now, what Steve was doing before is that he was using forward speaking broadcasts, and he loved that, and I thought that was a good idea and I would get good responses. The problem with that is you get a lot more false positives
Mm.
because it's forward speaking speech. You may have a word from the broadcast come through and you think it's a spirit and it's not. And he's been called a fake so many times because he tagged a false positive thinking it was a spirit, but it wasn't. And then they go back, these haters and skeptics, they go, look, I found the sound clip. He laid it in and he faked it. You know what I'm saying? And because he wasn't being thorough enough, he got blamed being a fake. Okay. That's the problem with what he was doing. And he needed to fix that. I said, no, Steve, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with chopped up, reverse slowed audio. So it's still human speech, but therefore we will not get a false positive. So if the spirit's not using it, it's going to be gibberish. There won't be a word that comes out of there that will be from the broadcast. It will be, and he was like, no, you gotta use forward speaking speech. It's a lot clearer. And I said, yeah, maybe it's clearer, but you get a lot more false positives. So we kind of disagreed on that, but whatever.
Everybody's got their opinions, so.
Yeah. So, that's when, like, over a year ago, I decided to come up with my own app, which is the HSB1. And the HSB1 I started developing over a year ago,
Hmm.
and it's free. It's free for everyone to go and download. But really, what I did was I took traditional spirit boxes. I took this box, kind of the premise behind this box with turning the dial, and a couple other features that no one else had, and I put them into this app. So the app is literally a mini version, a better version almost than this, in the sense that it's on the phone. It's free. We can take it. We can use it wherever we want. And it's going to give us reverb like this does. It's going to give us false positive, or it's going to give us wordless sound banks. So there's no false positives, or, I mean, we may hear a similar sound come through, but I mean, it's not going to be a whole word or whatever. And so, my app was proving that you don't need some expensive, crazy box with wiring. Now, I mean, this wiring, and I've got some gold up here and stuff like that. I got the crystal up here. I mean, he put this stuff on there, right? And I think it makes a difference. But like, I have this other box over here. I can't get it, but I have another box that's been stripped of all of those things. There's no crystals, there's no wire, there's no paint, and it still works excellent. So it's not like this stuff is obsolete, but it's also kind of like, so some people are like, oh, those decorated guitar amps. Like, I get it. Like, it kind of looks a little kooky, you know what I'm saying? But, there's probably some, some truth. I mean, crystals are real and they do hold energy, but what effect they have on these boxes, I don't really know. But, I know that I can use this without crystals and get responses. I can use my voice recorder and get clear, EVP without just EVP, electronic voice phenomenon, which is just them speaking, so. But yeah, the knob, people are like, what is he doing with the knob? I'm just releasing and letting raw sound in, and then turning it off so that we don't have to listen to constant sound. That's it.
Okay. What is it sitting in? I see that it's in some type of blue.
Yeah, it's in a box. Someone made me an awesome box to put everything in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a whole, like, it's heavy, dude. Like,
Okay.
it's heavy, and it's like, these are all separate pieces, so like you can't like pick this up and so it's got to sit in something,
Okay.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering if it was like, I want to say like somebody said, I don't know what way they said it's like a force field, but it contains the keep it out.
It's just a wooden box that just, I mean, it's amazing what the human mind will come up with creative,
Yes.
come up with ideas of what they think. And I get that. I don't blame people for that. It's just that sometimes things are just what they seem to be. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Box.
Like, it's just a box to hold it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know, I mean, but that's all it is. Yeah.
So another big question, obviously with Gabi Patillo, and Brian Laundrie, recent events, big social media news broadcasting everywhere, and yourself and myself that we're looking to make a buck off of this, when that's not the case. We're looking to have answers. We want to know, like, beforehand, before we found out what happened to Brian and the situation with him, and we wanted to know where Gabi was, if Gabi was okay, if Gabi was still alive, if Gabi was in her right mind, if she was, like, when we found out that unfortunate events had taken her life, we wanted to know if she did cross over or if she is okay, and how this is portraying towards Gabi's family. Is this going to make them upset? Like I've told people before, we're not doing this as disrespectful. We're not sitting here saying Gabi deserved this or Gabi or Brian did this. We're looking for answers for maybe if Gabi's parents were watching this, they could think about listening to this, taking their opinion, their partake on this, and take what they want with it. But like, I wanted you to get your words, because you've probably said it in your comments before as well. This is nowhere near for disrespect. This is not to hate on them.
It's such a good it's such a good thing to bring up. I mean, really, this is the stuff that we need to talk about, because if anyone wants answers and they're not getting they're not understanding what's going on, this is a great thing to watch, because this is, and I'm going to tell you exactly my take on this. First of all, I'm an intuitive medium. This is what I do. Okay. There are people out there that are doing paranormal research that go to locations that use PSB 7s and K2 meters. They're on a different, I'm not saying I'm on a higher level than them. They're not on a higher level than me, but they're doing something completely different than what I'm actually doing. I mean, it's in the same ballpark, but it's not the same. They're doing like paranormal investigation. I'm doing spirit communication. I'm
Mhm.
communicating on an intuitive level. This is what I do, and I'm very proud of it, and I do it with love and respect. With that being said, people are like, I'm glad you did the Gabby sessions, but you could have released them a month later or whatever.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so what good would that have done? It would have you would have shown people that no, I don't want to be attacked for being, for coming out early with a session. I'm trying to be respectful by waiting. And I get that their take is on that because that's like the traditional way that we see death.
Mhm.
But this is different. Think about a soul on the other side that wants to come through. And I'm going to say to them, I can't talk to you right now, or I can't play your words because people are, they're going to think it's disrespectful to you. I'm going to tell this person no because of that. So there's that aspect to it. Number one. Number two is this. If I did the Gabby sessions and then held on to them for a month or two and then posted them, a fraction of the people would have seen them. They
Mhm.
would have not searched it out. They would have not seen it. It would have not shown up in their suggested thing. So they would have not seen them. A lot of people messaged me and they were like, I didn't know this existed. I didn't know you existed. And just watching this for the first time, I feel 100% that was Gabby and that you were connecting with her. Thank you for showing me this.
Mhm.
Thank you. This has helped me. So, right there is a major benefit. Do I get money from the ad revenue? Of course I do. I very, very rarely get ad revenue money because my videos don't go viral and I don't like, I'm not doing the trending topic every time and like trying to be in the news. But the fact is that like, yeah, there's going to be some compensation from that, but I have to show people this stuff as it's happening, or it doesn't have the weight that it does, that it's going to have on
Mhm.
people. It's not going to make a difference. So if I have to wear that hat and take a couple punches because of it to show other people how amazing this is, that yes, it's real. I'm making myself transparent. I'm willing to talk to skeptics. I'm willing to do this whenever, wherever, in front of whoever.
Mhm.
Then, people will have to say, okay, yeah, he's going to get attacked, but I'm glad he did it because I at least feel like what he's saying is true, or I'm learning more about this. And so a lot more people got to learn about this that would have never learned about it.
I'm one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a lot of, yeah. So, I mean, like, again, I'm very grateful for that. And then again, go back to what you heard with the responses. There were so many times that it sounded like Gabby wanted to talk to me.
Mhm.
She wanted to talk to Costas, maybe. She wanted to talk to Steve. She wanted to talk to Judy over at Electric Medium. She wanted to talk to these people, it sounded like.
Mhm.
And that's wonderful, man. I mean, giving her, she was a blogger. She was out there. She wanted people to know more about her. So, she was in a lot of pain. Let me go one step further though here. How do we know we're talking to these people?
Mhm.
That's a great question that you didn't ask yet, and I know you were going to, but
Yes, that was my next question. You got it
yeah, and
right.
I'm just going to hit it right now because first of all, I have to intuitively connect. So when I do that, I am seeing her or this person, these people in my mind. Okay. And so I feel that I am intuitively connecting with them. Can I prove that? No, I cannot. I'll say that right now. There is no way to prove 100% that I am talking to every person that I'm talking to.
It's speculation.
There's just no way, unless they hand me a driver's license through the spirit box, I cannot validate that it's them, right?
Mhm.
But this is what I say to that. I feel confident in it, so I'm going to say that I'm asking for this person and I think I'm talking to this person. It's up to you to decide whether you think I'm really talking to them or not. That's on you to decide. And I put that in the statement, I put that in the disclaimer. But the responses that I'm getting, I know are a spirit because I'm using complete gibberish audio. So if I'm getting responses, that means it's someone on the other side, intelligent life, intelligence communicating with me. When they say, help me, I need more light, like I'm upset, or, thank you, things like that. This is what I'll say. I can't prove it's Gabby. I can't prove it's, Puneeth Raj Kumar or Brittany Murphy or Kobe Bryant or whoever I'm talking to. But when they're giving me these responses, it is someone on the other side. And I am willing to take that chance that it's not them, that it may be someone that does need the help. And I'm willing to just go ahead and offer that help to them, whether it's them or not, whether it's just another spirit that, people will say, well, it's just demons and they're lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. If that's the argument that people want to make, or because of their religion, the Bible says you're not supposed to communicate with them. And in my book, I have plenty of proof and real Bible verses that actually dispel that, but I won't get into that right now. The thing is that it doesn't matter. I feel protected by my higher power. And the majority of the responses I get, like 85, 90, 95% of the responses are positive. They're like normal conversation. Sometimes I will get a negative response, but when it's negative, they're being very open about being negative. Like they're not trying to mislead me per se. If they're saying God loves you, thank you, you're a good person, or you're helping me. What is the benefit of a demon saying that God loves me? What is the benefit of saying that you're a good person helping me? What is the benefit of that? Okay, well, one might say, well, they're going to lie to you for a long time. And then one day they're going to drop the hammer on you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if that's the case, then I rather take that chance. This is what I've always said. I rather get to the other side and God say, thank you for trying to help. You got a lot of responses wrong, or sometimes you weren't talking to the right person, but you at least tried and you showed compassion and you tried to help.
Mm-hmm.
I rather, I rather try now and be wrong later
Then
than
not
not
try at
do
all.
anything now. Yeah, and then not do anything now and know that I could have done something, but because of fear, I was not going to. And then I get to the other side and God's like, I sent you all these people to help. I gave you this gift to use and you didn't use it because you were afraid. Some woman in the Bible Belt told you that you're talking to Satan and you believed it, and you just, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to take the hit for people. Like, I'm okay with that. Okay. So like, I'm going to show love and compassion because, like, dude, my life, 20 years ago was a horrible life. Like I was an addict. I was, I went to prison for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, I shot a dope dealer 6 times during a bad deal, and I ended up going to prison. I'm very open about that. All of that is in my book, so it's not something that I hide. I'm very open about that. But, like, God saved my ass. And because of that, now I live a wonderful life. Like, I have a beautiful home. I have a beautiful family. I have like wonderful friends. People can rely on me. You know what I'm saying? And I owe it all to God. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and giving that hope, the best I can, and letting him use me. And I'll take the chance of being wrong. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? That's my answer to that whole thing.
I mean, we all take chances. I mean, I'm taking a chance doing this, doing YouTube. I sat for how many years saying I can't do this. I can't do this. There's no reason to do this. And then just one day I was just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do it. And I mean, I'm slowly getting there, but I mean, it's YouTube. Like, people have been asking, you guys are just doing it for the views. This is YouTube. What else are we going to use YouTube for?
Yeah, I mean, what else are we supposed to do? I mean,
It's views.
Yeah, and hopefully you're doing something that has a positive effect. I mean, I think what you're doing is very positive. Even if you're showing gaming or whatever it is, like at times, like that's really cool. I mean, you have a growing channel. I mean, this is a lot harder what I'm doing than just like reviewing products.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that is tougher, but yeah, I mean, people are, one guy that gives me a hard time in your comments sometimes, and I've tried to open up conversation with him, and I spent hours with him talking with him, and he still continues to attack me, and I feel like he's a turd, but I'm going to send love to that turd, the best I can. But he's like, you're very deceptive in your titles. You're saying that, that you spoke to this person. And I'm like, listen, I believe that I spoke to this person. You can make the determination whether I did or not. I do say that I have no way of proving it, But what else am I supposed to put in my title? A paragraph saying, like, my title is going to be like a paragraph long. Like, I think I spoke to this person, but I don't really know for sure. And maybe I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what else am I supposed to say?
It's clickbait, but it's not clickbait because you're saying, like, if you had two different colors and you'd be like, this one's gold, this one's blue, but I want you to believe that this one is gold and this one is blue. But this is my belief of these colors, but you say something different. I mean, it's always going to be that way of the opinions. And
like, if I say, Gabi came out of the box and did this, or I don't know, like some ridiculous claim, then you click on it and then you see that what I just told you was complete bullshit. People will eventually stop watching my videos because they know that your titles are deceptive. But people know that when I put a title up, this is what I believe. It's up to them. And most of them, understand that that's what I'm believing or what I feel that I got. So, they can disagree with that, but people don't feel my titles are deceptive. Very few do. So,
well, the thing with me that got me really hooked on you and Huff and Costas is when you guys were speaking to them and you would have your title saying Gabi or Brian, the validation was there because either some spirit, I don't know if we don't know if it's Gabi or not, said Brian, said Gabi, or right. when Robin, when you spoke to Robin as well, Robin spoke about, I think it was family or it was something about suicide, which obviously he was killed by suicide. There is that validation there of somebody saying, okay, Brian did this, Brian not smothered, but caused problems, or it's the validation was there, and I was like, why are
responses match up with what
they do? Yeah,
right. Okay, so let's just go away from the celebrity sessions or well-known sessions for just a second. I do these on a regular basis for regular people all the time. Okay, I do a group session for patrons every month where I'm asking for 60 plus people every month, right? And then I'm doing private sessions for people about 4 times a month, okay? These are not celebrities. I do not know who these people are going to ask for. Like if I was on a call with you and like you booked a private session right now, this is what I do. Zoom, it's a split screen. I'm like, okay, hey, how you doing? Who are we going to be asking for today? You're going to be like, I'm going to ask for, Bob Smith. Okay, Bob Smith. I don't even want to know who he is to you. You can say his name. You can give me his birthday without his year, and I'm going to ask for him. And then that person, or, I'm going to try to connect with them. I'm going to get some intuitive stuff on them. I'm going to go, oh, I see Bob's got, longer hair or whatever. And I'm going to tell you that. You're going to be like, yes or no. And if it's no, then maybe I'm not connecting with them. But, I got to give you some kind of specific details of that. Then I'm going to ask through the box, and you're going to ask some specific questions. Hey, like, what color shirt did you wear at the wedding? Or, you may ask something off the wall that I have no idea. No one knows but you and that person. And then the right answer is going to come through. Okay. Not all the time, but a lot of times it does. Is it a spirit lying that knew the right answer? Maybe, okay. But there's really no point to that. I mean, eventually it just becomes pointless to keep being like a demon lying about the color shirt that the person wore, whatever. When a loved one comes through and says to the person that's, getting the session done, I'm with you. I love you. I visit you. Heaven is beautiful. It's all good up here. It's beautiful up here. Keep praying to God. Those are responses that are all very positive. That's normally what I get in these sessions, and there's no benefit for any demonic or negative entity to say those things to that loved one.
What are they going to gain?
Yeah, there's no gain in that. It's only going to make that person feel better. It's going to make them lose some of the grief. It's going to help them move on with their life. It's going to help them feel more connected to that person because now they know that they're on the other side. They're okay. There's an afterlife. Like, there's a number of different things we can deduct from those responses. That's positive. That's the beauty of what it is that we're doing. So, it's like, what is the benefit of anything being bad? Like, we don't know if it's them, but constantly these responses match up with what that person would say. And I'll just say this too, I asked on this device, the little radio device, and this woman, she said, and there's so many validating responses. It's insane, but like just one. I mean, like, she's like, what color shirt, were you wearing at the wedding? And he said red through the box, but she could not hear that response. Even when I slowed it down and
Mm-hmm.
I tagged it, she was like, yeah, I still can't hear it, but the answer is right. It was a red shirt. So
Oh,
how
okay.
crazy is that? So like that's why I say that sometimes people may not hear the responses perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still deducting the proper information from it, information that I would never be able to know other
Mm-hmm.
than, you know what I'm saying? So it's right information. Not everyone can hear the responses perfectly, but I do have a little bit of a better, way of hearing them because I've been doing this a long time, but
Mm-hmm.
so I
You're
mean,
skilled in it. So I mean,
yeah, a little bit more, but I still get it wrong. I'll still listen and I'm like, I
we're
can't
we're
anything.
human. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. So, this whole thing that this is all demons and this is all bad and is just been proven wrong so many times. My life is so much better because of what I do. I feel more connected to my higher power. I feel more connected to people. I want to help more people. I love the team on the other side. I love my loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, this work has improved so many wonderful aspects of my life and other people's lives that I can't, it's a shame that so many people are prejudiced and hung up on fear because they think that, it's all demonic,
Mm-hmm.
shit, it sucks.
I mean, there's things in my family. They kind of believe in the same thing. They're like, well, spirits are not here to linger or stay behind, or it's demonic. They're trying to get what they want. I'm like you said, what are they trying to get as saying God is great? I mean,
Yeah. I
I
mean,
just
listen, when something negative comes through and I've had that happen, you know it. Someone will say, other guide or spirit will say, this bad man is here or a bad spirit is here or someone is, bad here or something, or they will come through themselves and say like, I'll kick your butt or something. They'll say something like that. And any of those threats, normally are not, I mean, yes, a negative spirit could put you in a worse mood. If you have a lot of fear, they can feed off that fear and they can ramp up their activity to try to like poltergeisty and move things around and get scratches and things like that.
mm-hmm.
That's very rare, but people that focus on that stuff, that happens to them more when they're the demon hunter and they're the ones that they want to prey, like they want to tap into the scary side of this. Then they're going to have more of that kind of crap happening. I don't have that happening a lot or very like ever, because I don't focus on that kind of stuff. I'm focusing on the positive and the light, and it's all very good stuff. Um, Now you asked me about Brian. You asked me about, like people are asking about like,
Yes.
like they don't believe the death on Brian. They also feel like, they want to have more answers and stuff like that. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Steve did a series a while ago on like serial killers. He was like asking for
Oh,
Dahmer.
really?
Yeah, he was asking for Dahmer and all these other guys, and people are like, "Oh, you should ask for Hitler," and I'm like, "No,
I don't want to do that.
I don't,
Oh,
I don't want to do that." Okay, and let me tell you, like, Epstein. I have two young girls here. Why would I ask for this man to come into my home? Okay,
very much.
that's not what I want to be doing. Okay. Steve will say, or, others may say, well, I'm protected and I only focus on the light, so I'm not going to be affected by that. Fine. Okay. That's like what and that's probably true to some extent. And I know that because I do feel strong in my connection, or my protection, but, you know, I just had this amazing connection with Gabby. Like clearly I feel like she came through to me. Not only, I mean, I could tell you stories off camera that would blow your mind as far as just what I was getting intuitively that I just couldn't share publicly because it was just very personal and very
Mm-hmm.
crazy. And why am I now going to ask for the person that murdered her to come in at the same, like around the same time? that's not cool. And plus I'm not judging him. Like if he had some crazy lovers quarrel and like there was something that happened, like
Just let it be.
let it be. It is what it is. But I'm not going to ask for him to come in continuously or whatever. I just don't need that energy around. I know I did tell you that like when you do ask for those, they do have a tendency to kind of try to hang around longer because they could see that there's an outlet here and they may be able to like, you know, have some kind of sway over that. But, you know, I don't want to do that. So, you know, I got enough answers, what I feel like I got from just asking about him. And it did sound like, from what they were saying, like he did show up a couple times, you know, and, you know, right at the end of the Gabi sessions was when my communication with her started to kind of get a little haywire, started to get a little like it started to drop off. And she started talking about, you know, there was someone here that shouldn't be here, kind of a feeling.
It seemed like she left and she was kind of like over in the corner where she wanted to stay away kind of thing.
That's how I feel. So I just kind of was like, you know, I'm going to just I'm going to pray for her now. I'm going to let her go. Like, I'm going to let her go on to where she needs to go. I'm going to still ask for her again, because I have recorded a couple things while doing private sessions, not about her, not about anything about that. And a guide will say, you know, Gabi something, like they'll say, and I'm not fully sure on what those responses say yet, but they'll say her name. So like they're still bringing her up at times. So there may still be some more communication to have with her, but you know, I don't know. But yeah, that's why I don't ask for negative things. I don't ask for negative people on purpose. I don't think it's a very good thing to do.
I wouldn't probably do the same thing. I mean, who would want a Hitler in your living room or your household that you have children? I have children. Why would you want to bring that in here? Yeah. So I definitely understand. I wanted to hit that topic because people were asking me. Yeah. And I said, it's like the other ones that do this, I've gotten same responses. They don't want that negative stuff in there. I mean, like everybody's got that mentality right now that they're watching all these movies about the Warrens that went through The Conjuring and did all. That's their mindset right now, is they're looking at The Conjuring and all this demonic and Annabelle kind of stuff, and they're mixing this in with what you guys are doing, or Ghost Hunters. I mean, Sam and Kobe and TFIL, those guys that are doing their spirit box sessions, sometimes they'll get just normal stuff. Sometimes they'll get kind of weird, kind of crazy stuff. But it's all that stuff that we're watching right now on Hollywood that's conflicting with this, and everybody wants to see crazy stuff.
I'm someone that has contributed to that because I am a filmmaker and I've made films. I've two full-on feature films that are in full distribution. They're on TV. One was in theaters. I made one called Not for Human Consumption, kind of based on my life story and everything like that. And that was, a really awesome film, and it won awards, and it was really cool. And then because the distributor asked me, they were like, hey, horror is really big right now. Could you make us a horror film? And I said, yeah, sure. I could come up with horror stories and stuff like that, So I made a film called Devil's Tree. It's about a real tree up here in Florida, where there was some murders that happened, and
really?
It's a full-on feature film. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Devil's Tree Rooted Evil. So it's like a total, $300,000, like almost $500,000 picture when it's all said and done that I did. But it contributes to the fear factor of horror, because I was making a film that was 6 years ago. It was a horror film. Like that's what I was asked to do. And in hindsight, I probably would have made a different film now. But the fact is that that's all people have are The Conjuring and all these other types of movies that do instill fear. And unfortunately, there's a whole nother aspect to this, which is what I'm doing and what mediums are doing. If you go to a medium's page, it's all like gold script writing, and it's all very positive, and it's all very light filled. You know what I'm saying? They don't really talk about the negative stuff, whatever. Ghost hunting, paranormal investigation. It's got to be dark. You got to be in like an abandoned something. And, there's always like, what was that?
Yeah.
And that people want to get afraid for that, but then they come and find me and they're just like,
the softer side.
It's all evil, whatever. So let's do this. Let's, I can keep talking to you, dude.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. You're easy to talk to, and I find it, it's great because there's a lot of
Well, you
questions.
answered all the questions I had, so I mean that's
Okay,
pretty
good.
much all the
Okay, good.
questions
As
I
long as
wanted
I'm
to have.
hearing
Yeah.
you. Okay. So let's just try something. I don't know what we're gonna get. I'm not even really like intuitively trying to, do anything. So this is kind of at the tail end of what we're doing. So we'll just see.
This is
You
very
know,
interesting for me to see because I'm just kind of like watching in the now kind of
yeah.
thing. So,
I mean, and we're probably not going to hear anything in real time. I'm only going to do this for like 5-6 minutes, and then I got
mhm.
to get off. But what I'll do is I'll plug into a sound bank of just gibberish. I'll play that for you so you can hear what it is.
Mhm.
Um, and then, I'll just have you ask a couple questions, and we'll see if maybe we can get a couple responses. But I'll have to go back and listen.
Of
And
course, yeah.
so if you play this, like tomorrow or whatever, like we may not hear, we may not, because it'll take me a couple days to go through this. So, but let's just see.
But like you said, this takes weeks or a week or
Yeah.
days. It doesn't. It's not right now. I mean, it can, but
No, right. So, okay. So I have my app open.
okay.
And if you open the app, and it's like got my like tutorial video and channel and all of like other stuff, but if you just tap on the little thing at the bottom, the little wavelength sign thing, so then you'd want to choose a bank, all right, of gibberish. So I'm just going to choose like a mixed bank. I've got all these mixed bank. I've got like a couple of mixed
Yeah,
gender
I'm seeing
banks.
that part. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're just giving the raw sound of the tone of those voices,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's no words in it. So I'm just going to choose like the second bank. Okay. And then there's like the reverb feature, and you can control the amount of reverb. If you plug into a box, you don't need the reverb. You just want just the raw sound. So I'm going to
Okay.
turn off the reverb. And if you turn off the reverb and you open the gate, now this little thing right here is kind of like the knob.
Okay.
So the knob, I'm turning the knob to let sound in. That's the same thing as this little thing in a way. It's kind of like,
Yeah, I can hear it.
no, wait,
I heard something.
hold on. Oh, it's my phone on silent. It's just gibberish.
Okay. Very interesting.
So I'm going to close it again. Okay. I'm going to plug in, and then I'm going to open the gate. So when I open the gate, hold on. Make sure the volume up is up on my box. All right. So now when I open that gate, we should hear sound, and we know sound is coming through or is working because of that, but we don't hear anything because the knob.
The knob is not on yet. Okay.
So, okay. All right. So really quickly, I am inviting my guides to help. I'm inviting his guides to help. Okay. So I would like for any involvement, if you guys would like. We are doing this interview, and we're talking about this work, and I'm trying to explain and educate a little bit more. So if any of my guides would like to say anything at all, we can ask a question or two, and then see if we capture anything. So any involvement I appreciate. If not, it's okay, no big deal. We're not asking for anyone specifically, maybe, but so, all right, now people say like, well, why do you put your hand behind the box? I'm just grabbing the crystal.
Okay.
I really just like to hold on to the crystal. My energy is attached to the box in a way. So I'm just trying to do that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask right now, who is here with us, who can use this, or no, I'm going to ask if anyone is here that can use this. So I'm not going to ask for a name right now. It's fine. So I'm just going to say right now, can any of my guides use this right now? Okay, I'm going to try that again. Hello, hello. So I'm inviting you guys to help and work with us on this. We're just trying to get a couple responses before we end this interview. What would you guys like to say today? Hello. It sounded like a hello.
I heard a hello.
Yeah, it sounded like a hello. Um, why don't you ask a question? I don't care what it is,
Hmm.
like just general, man. Just ask whatever you want. Let's see what happens.
Um, is there any spirit guides that are connected to me here?
Something's here.
Something's. I think I heard something's here.
Okay, let's try a different setting. There's a couple different settings on this pedal. I can kind of filter through a couple different algorithms that Steve created that have worked really well. So let's just try to give it another shot. Ask how many, or like ask like how many are around you, or something like that. At any
Okay.
given time.
um, how many spirits or spirit guides are with Josh and I? I
Sounds like
heard 7.
heaven. I was going to say
I
7.
heard 7.
Yeah, it sounded like the number 7 came right through. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Ask if you have any like relatives with you, or like that visit you or something,
This one's a little crazy for
Or
me
if you don't
because
want to know,
no,
if you
I
don't
do.
want, I'm telling you what to ask, brother. So I'm not going to tell
Well,
you.
this is something I've wanted to ask, kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So,
Okay.
is there any spirit relatives that are with me or around me?
Okay, I'm going to ask that again.
There's one thing I might have heard, and I'm kind of scared. So,
Oh, okay. Well, don't be scared. Let's get at it. I'm glad you said that. Fear does not help us in any way. I know you're not probably really afraid, but I'm saying, like, when we say that, we don't even want to say that. So let's just try to like not.
I would say scared is a good thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So,
Okay, all right. Well, just be careful, guys. I just want to make sure. Okay, so can we answer? Can you answer what relatives are around him, or are there relatives around him? Okay. Let's ask one more question, and then I'm gonna do one question on the voice recorder for an
okay.
EVP. Okay. So I appreciate anyone coming through. We weren't gonna do this long. I just wanted to record a couple things, and it sounds like we actually got a couple of real-time responses. So I'm gonna have to go back and listen, but let's just have you like say thank you or whatever, like whatever you want as a finishing thing here.
Well, I think this session, you guys, if there is spirits with me or spirit guides, I might have heard somebody that definitely is close to or was close to me. Um, Stay with me. I don't want you to go anywhere. I definitely enjoy the company. Again, thank you for the session. Um, and that's my.
Okay. Hold
Do you
on.
see us?
Yeah, that sounded like that. It sounded like see us. Is there anything else that you want to say to him or to us right now? I love you.
I heard that.
You heard that? I love
I
you?
said I heard. I heard. I love you and thank you.
Yeah, I heard I love you, dude. That's pretty cool. All right. All right. Okay, hold on, guys. Thank you for that. That's really cool because this is important. This is important. There's a
And
lot of people
the
this.
one, I would say the one nervous thing that got me was I heard Benny in there, which
Okay.
is my grandfather.
Oh, wow.
And once I heard Benny, I heard very softly Benny, and it just kind of got a little tingly. But I mean,
But that's important. If you feel that charge and you feel the tingly, then that's important because that will actually increase the energy in
I,
getting
I got the
responses.
tingles. So I
Okay,
mean,
so that's a big deal. The other thing I want to say, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yeah, that's a cool thing about this is that I will just take out this part, like this last 10 minutes, and I'll review that,
mhm.
and I'll send you that captioned version, right?
Okay.
But the original will be up already. Or if you
Yep, I'm
play,
going to.
yeah, so that will be there. So all the responses will be there already. You
Mm-hmm.
may not understand them right away because they need to be slowed down a little bit or
Mm-hmm.
enhanced a little bit. But what's great is that when I give you the captioned video and you go back and you hear it or whatever, if we did get anything, which I think we did, um, you can go back to the original and just hear where it wasn't slowed down yet. And you'll know that there's nothing laid in, there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
done after the fact. It's all there in the original. You
Plus,
know what I'm
we
saying?
did this technically live with you and
Did it
I
live.
here, so I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Correct. Okay.
so
So I'm going to just get one final message before we end on this voice recorder. This is, again, this is working. This doesn't have sound that is being piped into it. It's a regular voice recorder from Panasonic. They discontinued because human voices were being picked up and they wanted to say it was a glitch,
okay.
but it's not a glitch. It's not a faulty chip. But this does create an internal noise, like a hissing sound kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of that, they can use that to form their own responses with. So when I do this, you will see me doing this and I'll hold it like this or I'll hold it like this. And this little light, it's voice activation. So this little light
Okay.
will stay solid if nothing is being recorded or if it's just like solid sound. But when they're using it, this little light will flash.
Okay.
Okay. So let's just try this. I'm going to have you say, again, guys, thank you or whatever. We're going to end this. Is there anything you want to say through here? I want you to ask that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Okay. Hold on.
Okay, again, thank you so much for this session. If there is any spirit guides or spirits around Josh and I, please say something before we go. Again, thank you so very much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you. Okay.
That thing is going
It
off
worked.
like a
You saw it
Christmas tree.
flashing.
I
It was
saw it.
blinking. Wait till you hear what's on this. This is going to be, we may not be able to understand it. It will take
Mm-hmm.
me, have to go back and review it, but you will hear it very clearly. Thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you more than you know. So,
Something's responding.
you hear a sentence, you hear a cadence of speaking, talking, and that wasn't.
I thought I heard something about mommy in the beginning after
Oh, you hear. I'm gonna play it one more time just to have it.
I thought it said mom or mommy.
All right, hold on. Let's play it one more time.
I'm hearing mommy.
So much. I love you and I appreciate you.
All done?
There it is.
I think I heard all done.
That's crazy. That's awesome. I love it. I still, after this long, I still get blown away by the results, and I've got it kind of narrowed down to where I don't need cases and cases of gear.
Mm-hmm.
I can just bring like a portal, a little Panabox, little radio, my recorder, and I could literally conduct a whole session just with all of those few things. So yeah, dude, this was really cool. I'm really. Yeah, and I'll do this again. If you have more questions or we want to do another, down the road, we'll do another one just to come up, or maybe, you know, there's a topic that you want to ask about, you know, and I'll do a session like this with you, man, you know, if you want. So
definitely.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop the recording. Hold on.
So that was my session with Josh on Hope Paranormal. Man, I don't know what to say. I'm chilled. I feel good about the questions we asked him. Josh is a very laid down kind of guy. He's not looking at, I mean, he told you guys, he's not looking to make this millions of dollars. This is something he enjoys. This is something he's connected with. This is something that he wants to help others, not just with Gabi, but also people that he connects with monthly, or when he does his sessions here and there with loved ones and stuff like that. So again, take it as you will. I'm definitely a little bit more, I can't say I enjoyed this interview. I enjoyed that session we just had. There are things I might have heard or sort of like that. He's going to definitely send me more slowed down so we can hear a little bit better. But it definitely leaned me towards a little bit more of the other side of believing, because, I mean, it could have been just silence. It could have been just static. It could have just sat there and did nothing. But it did something. Or with the Panasonic kind of capture, I've seen that on other YouTube channels, and it's kind of interesting that nothing was being said, and that little red light was blinking like a Christmas tree blinker that you have outside. It was going off when nothing, and he and I were not saying anything. I definitely believe that Hope himself, Josh, I should say Hope. Hope is his channel. Josh is definitely genuine. I don't think he's looking to fake things. I think he's there for us. I'm not being persuaded by any means. My channel is one of the most honest, because I could care less what people think. I could care less about people saying, "Oh, this is fake. This is paid. This ain't his real action. He's just faking it." My reactions on scary content, or when I do a review for product, that is genuine and honest. I want to give you guys an honest reaction, an honest review, an honest everything, because that's who I am. I'm a different YouTuber, and I'm going to show that I'm a different YouTuber with my growth in the future. 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, who knows? I'm going to stay who I am. If you guys enjoy that, if you guys like who I am and how my reactions are, my constant talking, my constant everything, with my jokes and my scary reactions, those are me. I'm not overdoing it. It's creepy. And my reviews on products, I'm gonna tell you how it is. So comment down below your guys' thoughts on my interview with Josh from Hope Paranormal. If you guys want to see a part 2 in the future, he definitely did state and said, yeah, if we want to do a part 2, let's do it down the road. I would love to do that. Maybe do a spirit box session in the future with myself. Maybe we'll do that. Who knows? But the future is bright. I definitely enjoyed it. And again, like the video if you guys liked it. And make sure you guys subscribe over to Hope Paranormal. Give him some love, and myself. And we'll see you guys in the next video. So keep it real, keep it safe. And as always, keep nerding on. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.